Okay, now Rasheed Kidwai, who's associate editor of the Telegraph from Bhopal, T.S. Krishnamurthy, former Chief Election Commissioner, Mohandas Pai, former director, Infosys, Devang Nanavati of the BJP. My first question is to Abid Rasool Khan of the Congress Party. Look here what you've done now. I mean, I can't believe it, Abid Rasool Khan. This way of insulting the Supreme Court of India by a sitting cabinet minister who is out of the country, still not out of power, to insult the Supreme Court of India, not just question its sanctity, to call it an unelected, unaccountable body. My God. I mean, I don't know to call the Supreme Court of India a major challenge to Indian democracy. Abid Rasool Khan, he really said this? Don't you think he should face a legal case for talking like this?
Arnab, as far as my party stand is concerned, we have made it clear, and I am again reiterating it on your channel, that we consider the Model Code of Conduct, the Election Commission's directive.
No, I am talking about first what he said about the Supreme Court. He says about the Supreme Court.
Yes, now
you didn't hear the insulting comments he made about the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Should I repeat them for you?
And taking it further, what Mr. Salman Khurshid has said in a symposium in London on democracy in India, I think it is better they put the questions to him in what context.
Oh, so you are washing your hands off him. Devang Nanavati,
the
Congress party washes its hands of Salman Khurshid.
As far as my party is concerned,
completely washes hands of Salman Khurshid.
As far as my party is concerned,
no, wash your hands of Salman Khurshid.
We uphold all
Salman Khurshid is a congressman, is he not? Isn't Salman Khurshid a congressman? Or is he from the BJP?
But
Arnab, Mr. Abid Rasool is taking a very safe measure, and he is rightly doing what he is rightly doing, as any lawyer would have advised him, or if he is a lawyer, he would have known that by repeating what Mr. Salman Khurshid has said, or by agreeing to what Mr. Salman Khurshid has said, he would be in contempt of the Supreme Court, if not anything less. It is blasphemous for anyone, any citizen of this country, much less a senior advocate, a designated senior advocate, much less a Congress leader, much less an elected member of parliament, and much less that a union cabinet minister, and that to a former law minister and a foreign minister of this country, stepping outside the shores of the country in England, from whom we have inherited this judicial system.
Will you apologize for Salman Khurshid's comment? Will you apologize for Salman Khurshid's comment? Will you apologize for Salman Khurshid's comment, Abid Rasool? Will you at least apologize on his behalf for the kind of language he has used about the Supreme Court of India?
Arnab, let me make it clear. Let me make it clear that the party has told, and I again on behalf of the party say that we respect this institution, not only these institutions, we respect all the institutions which uphold the law of this country.
Give him a show cause notice.
Let him resign as a minister.
As far as the statement of Mr. Salman Khurshid is concerned, it is in what he has to explain it in what context he has told this.
What context?
He will definitely do it in the coming days.
Spoken word.
1 minute.
Arnab, the Contempt of Court Act clearly defines that any written or spoken word which brings down the authority or majesty of the court is criminal contempt.
If you derail this debate, Arnab,
who's derailing the debate?
I really do not want to derail the debate by putting accusations. My friend is talking something which is beyond comprehension, and I can also talk back. But this is a very important debate. I want to be in the limits of the debate, and I want to talk on the facts.
Bringing down are Mr. Khurshid's words not bringing down the authority and majesty of the highest court of our land?
I again say that your statements are not in context and not according to what has happened. Now let me tell you that to derail the debate and go on each other is very easy, but I do not want to do that. This is a very important debate connected with the highest bodies of the country.
And who has insulted the highest body of the country? Who has insulted the highest body of the country? A Congress leader. a Congress leader who is a minister who is a foreign minister. Allow me to complete, Mr. Rasool. Please don't interrupt me now, Mr. Khan. I heard you. I heard you. I'll explain to you.
What he has said.
I ask you a question, Mr. Rasool. I ask you a question, Mr. Rasool. You see, recently, now please remember this, okay?
Okay.
Recently, Rahul Gandhi hit the headlines. That's not during the interview, before that. Before that, the last time he hit the headlines was when he made a 5-minute appearance in a press conference and says, tear up this ordinance. And everybody said, we clapped for him. Whose point of view was Rahul Gandhi upholding? The Supreme Court of India. Whose point of view was he rejecting? These ministers. Today, these ministers, one of these ministers has gone and insulted the Supreme Court of India. 1 minute. So when Rahul Gandhi upholds the Supreme Court of India, he speaks correctly.
Yeah.
But when we ask, how did the foreign minister of India in a foreign academic institution, that too in London, insult the Supreme Court of India by saying that if democracy throws up a wrong kind of person, you can say this is what the people want, Mohandas Pai. But to have an unelected, unaccountable body, my God, unelected and unaccountable, unelected and therefore unaccountable. Look at the arrogance that Salman Khurshid has. Taking these decisions becomes a major challenge to Indian democracy.
Arnab,
no, I think an apology is in order. Mohandas Pai, what do you think? Mohandas Pai. Mohandas Pai, please. Mohandas Pai from Bangalore.
Arnab, this is an outrageous.
Mohandas Pai,
Arnab, this is an outrageous statement.
Of the party.
Mohandas Pai, please hear the other side.
Arnab, this is an outrageous statement made by a member of the Union Cabinet in a country outside India. And he has diminished the stature of the Supreme Court and the legal system in this country by this outrageous statement. You'll remember, Arnab, some few years ago, a Bollywood personality went to the UK and India tried for his extradition. And the courts in the UK held that the Indian justice system doesn't work and he'll be discriminated against. He pleaded as a member of the minority community, he'll be discriminated, the courts don't give justice. Now, if our own union minister goes there and makes some outrageous remarks, how will overseas courts ever respect our courts? I think he deserves to give an apology. He has to come back and he has to offer to step down if he's made this statement. I mean, it is, and a member of the Union Cabinet who was sworn to uphold the Constitution goes out.
The BJP is also demanding his resignation. Congress is keeping its hands one arm's distance. Yes, Devang, quickly, please. I'm going to Rasheed Kidwai after that. Yes, Devang.
Arnab, I want to say only this, that under our Constitution, the courts are the final arbiter. What they say is not their whimsy and flimsy. What they say is law of the land under Article 141 of the Constitution. And if you derogate that judgment of a court, then it is nothing but contempt. And a minister to do this is so sad.
And Salman Khurshid
spokesperson today says that I am derailing the debate.
And Salman Khurshid is a repeat offender. 1 minute. Salman Khurshid is a repeat offender. In October 2011, he says, Rasheed Kidwai, he says the judiciary needs to understand the political economy in the country. Wow. So, political economy allows corruption. Political economy allows the whittling away of national assets. Political economy allows the Adarsh scam, the 2G scam. I'm sure A. Raja knows a lot about the political economy. In fact, I have a big announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make it now. If you're watching the news tonight, I have just been informed by a Chennai reporter, Sandhya Ravishankar, that she has got the first ever interview to a national news channel of A. Raja. This is the first time that A. Raja has taken questions on the 2G scam. And he has said some pretty sensational things. And we are going to break this story right here. We're going to get her online. She says that A. Raja has told her in the interview of a note by telecom companies to the Prime Minister which was forwarded to him, recommendations of which went against the telecom policy. He says the Congress government let me down on the 2G issue. He has questioned the Prime Minister's silence on charges that he did not accept recommendations of the Prime Minister's office. And we are going to get her online right now. This is what A. Raja says. This is going to be big. He says there was an unsigned note given to the Prime Minister by telecom corporates, unsigned note by telecom corporates regarding the spectrum auction and how subscriber criteria can be devised. It is unfortunate on the part of the Prime Minister that the unsigned note sent to me saying before taking any decision I may be appraised. I replied to the Prime Minister saying suggestions are against the National Telecom Policy of 1999. With due respect, even the Prime Minister wanted to go against the NTP 1999, which was designed and approved by Parliament. This is really big. There is no statement from the Prime Minister saying his advice has been ignored, but there is a charge. I am facing a charge. This is a big accusation. Sandhya Ravishankar joining us. When did A. Raja speak to you, Sandhya, and which can you tell us more about this part where he talks about the unsigned note given to the Prime Minister by telecom corporates? The Congress party will have to react quickly on this one. Sandhya, yes.
Absolutely, Arnab. He has spoken to us just a little while ago. He has just begun his campaign here in the Nilgiris, and he has spoken for the very first time to a national news channel. He has spoken exclusively to Times Now, and A. Raja says that an unsigned note was given to him along with a letter from the Prime Minister's office. The unsigned note, he says, was recommendations by the telecom corporates, a group of companies, telecom companies that form the COAI, which is the Cellular Authorities Association of India. And this note was regarding spectrum auction and how subscriber criteria can be devised. And A. Raja has categorically said...
So he says the Prime Minister forwarded him an unsigned note?
Absolutely, that is exactly what he is saying.
So what is he basically saying? That he's saying that the Prime Minister sent an unsigned note. Does he have any proof of this?
He says that he had the unsigned note, Arnab, and that there was another letter, a formal letter on the PMO letterhead, saying that before you take any decision, you may be appraised of these recommendations which have been given to the Prime Minister by these telecom.
But the Prime Minister did not put his signature to it. So the Prime Minister was forwarding this unsigned note. He said...
That is correct, Arnab.
Why was he forwarding the unsigned note? What was Raja telling you about that?
Raja has not elaborated on that aspect, but he says that there has been a cartel. He says that there's been a cartel of telecom companies which have been putting pressure to ensure that there were not...
And he says the Prime Minister was pushing the accusation, he says the Prime Minister was pushing the demands of a cartel to him?
That is what he is saying, Arnab. You're absolutely right. He also says that he replied to the Prime Minister saying that these recommendations in that particular unsigned note went against the National Telecom Policy 99. And he has categorically said that with due respect, even the Prime Minister wanted to go against NTP 99, and he said that he had absolutely refused to go against this particular telecom policy which has been designed and approved by the Parliament. So A. Raja is categorically saying that the Prime Minister had in fact sent him an unsigned note which was given to the Prime Minister by the telecom cartel.
Rasheed Kidwai, first reaction. This is big. Sorry, I moved away from the subject there, but Rasheed, this is big. I think the PMO will have to explain this.
Yeah.
Rasheed?
Definitely, but Arnab, we have to give due weightage to this is coming from an accused.
Yeah.
And what is this all this while now that elections have been announced, now that the alliance between Congress and DMK has not worked out, now that the breakaway faction of DMK represented by Mr. Adagiri has met Prime Minister today. So all these developments, we have to see the political dimension of it also.
So, but can it be dismissed? Can it be dismissed, Devang? What Raja is saying, you just heard our reporter.
At least there must be there must be an investigation. But then there is nothing new, Arnab. Just as in the Coalgate scam, you name the coal secretary, you name Mr. Birla, but you don't name the Prime Minister. The same thing is going to be repeated here. If Mr. Raja is accused, the other officials are accused, but the Prime Minister and the other members of the UPA government will not be accused because they are the Congress party. They cannot be touched by anyone. They think all institutions are under them. Even if the courts will tomorrow tell them to investigate the Prime Minister or anyone else, they will say the courts don't function. They function according to their whim. So what is new about this?
Abid Rasool Khan,
the Prime Minister should be investigated.
Abid Rasool Khan, does the government not care about the Prime Minister on this one? Because, one second, this is a fairly important charge which has been made there. And of course, he's battling the 2G taint, but he's a lawyer. Obviously, he would have some proof before making this kind of a charge. He must be having some proof with him.
And it is surprising and it hurts me that reputed channel, and especially under you, who always upholds the truth, that you are giving prime time to an accused who is putting up...
Well, these are his points. By the way, the accused belongs to a political party.
Let me complete.
Do you expect me to censor him? Do you expect me to censor Raja?
Give me a minute to complete. No.
Yes, Mr. Devang Nanavati.
No.
You expect me to censor him?
He's an accused.
He has conspired with other people.
The country knows what it is. The country knows what it is at the time of election. He's
of
trying
course,
to play
we know.
himself as a martyr
That's why you
to
lost
get the
4
votes.
states.
But the point is, he cannot accuse the Prime Minister of something like an unsigned note and a cartel, and that too on a prime time
Why?
on your channel, Arnab. I am really
He's making a
upset about
point,
this.
so
You
I
have
don't
to-
understand what
you
the
have
problem
to-
of
you
that
have to
is.
bring out the truth
I
in
don't
this.
understand. He's saying there was an unsigned note given to me, but that is his onus, his responsibility. I'm not making the charge, but he's the principal 2G accused. He's not spoken out till now. He's giving his point of view, and if he's saying there was an unsigned note, it is his onus to put that note out. The question very simply is this. He is saying that he claims that I told the Prime Minister the suggestions are against the NTP 1999. He's saying, with due respect, even the Prime Minister wanted to go against the National Telecom Policy, which was designed and approved by the Parliament. There is no statement from the Prime Minister saying his advice has been ignored, but there is a charge. Now you understand this, Mr. Abid Rasool Khan, whether it is election season or not. Your party has still not cut off all relationship with the DMK. In fact, you were with the DMK till recently. They were providing you outside support. Before that, they were part of your government. So don't give me all that, high moral ground about why you're disappointed about talking with A. Raja. You were hands in glove with A. Raja's party till recently.
Let me respond to you.
One UPA minister also said that there is no loss in the 2G scam.
No, let me complete. Raja has deposed before number of bodies, and always he has contradicted his statement from one deposition to the other. And as far as the point of concern, what you are trying to explain, that he was a part of our ally, we have taken action against him even though he was an ally when it was proved that he is an accused. So based on that, I am sure that all this hangama and all this drama is being brought out.
You took action against Bansal also, and you brought him back today.
And to gather
you took action against Kalmadi.
When the whole of Tamil Nadu and the whole of country knows who is the accused in this and how it has happened.
Well, he is the accused now. That doesn't stop him from speaking.
Action against Mr. Khurshid?
Anyway, should we move to the next point? I will try and get Raja's interview on air in some time. My next point is former Chief Election Commissioner T.S. Krishnamurthy is also with us today. T.S. Krishnamurthy, among those who was a victim there of the bombastic jibes of Salman Khurshid, was also the Election Commission of India. You heard what he said about the Election Commission of India? He says the Election Commission of India makes you try your best to lose elections. The Election Commission of India does not allow you to offer drinking water because that distorts election making. He goes to a foreign capital and completely ridicules the Election Commission of India with sarcasm and exaggeration. T.S. Krishnamurthy, what do you think of the foreign minister's attempt to run down this institution as well?
It is most unfortunate that this Oxford-educated minister has chosen to criticize constitutional institutions without any basis whatsoever. Out of respect for this post he holds, I would say, I would not say that it is irresponsible or careless, but it is certainly a carefree statement. I wish he had realized that he had taken an oath of allegiance to the Constitution, and he cannot decry constitutional institutions in a foreign land. If he is not satisfied with the constitutional provisions, he should have moved changes for the amendment to the Constitution. I am sorry, he has really let down Indian democracy on a foreign soil.
He's trivialized the Model Code of Conduct. Abid Rasool Khan apologized. He trivialized the Model Code of Conduct, right? He had 5 years to provide drinking water. He says, I don't get a chance in the last 2 months.
I have told you.
And another statement.
Yes, Mr. Krishnamurthy.
I have told you my party stand.
Another statement he has made is...
I have told my party stand, and once Mr. Salman Khurshid clarifies and once the party takes a stand on it, we will come back and tell you what has happened. But the point here is
he ignorant?
Our party has made it very clear that we are committed to uphold all the institutions of this land, including Election Commission and Honorable Supreme Court and all the honorable courts of this country.
Is he ignorant? He doesn't know the law. He doesn't know Article 324 of the Constitution of India.
Advocate.
He doesn't know the Model Code of Conduct.
Another statement.
Yes, Mr. Krishnamurthy. The former Chief Election Commissioner is taking you on. Yes, Mr. Krishnamurthy, your response to the Congress spokesperson.
Another statement he has made is that there is no appeal to the constitutional authority's decision. it smacks of ignorance of the Constitution. All decisions of the Election Commission can be challenged in the Supreme Court after the election. Secondly, we can also take up the matter with the Parliament.
So completely. But why do this?
Arnab,
Why do this? No, Devang, tonight the Congress spokesperson is disowning Salman Khurshid. But anyway.
Arnab, in fact, I was going to say that it is very sad that a person who has learnt law in England, who is a lawyer, who is a designated senior lawyer and a former law minister and a current foreign minister, even forgets that very English constitutional expert Granville Austin had once said that the Indian judiciary is the pillar on which the archstone of Indian democracy rests. God forbid if that pillar falls, the archstone of democracy will come crashing. And we know that happened during the emergency when our right to appeal to the courts on our fundamental right violations was taken away by this Congress government.
Mr. Krishnamurthy,
is it not enough a lesson for us
I have greatest
not to
respect,
disrespect
but
the court?
what you are saying, I would
The
like
big story tonight. The big story tonight.
You will not, because you only see me in BJP's colors.
The big story.
You don't see me as a lawyer. You don't see me as a citizen. You don't see me as a person who respects the Indian Constitution.
And you are giving big speeches today on this channel.
No, please don't teach me democracy.
I am telling you, you have patronized terrorism. You have patronized terrorism. You have given scant respect.
We may have done anything today. I am not here to answer. It is your minister who has decried the court.
The persons who are barred from entering the
and you have insulted the courts,
What
Mr.
are you talking
No,
about?
they are not.
The law. You have
his
no
conviction has been
standing on upholding the law.
Mr. Rasool, don't go into whirlwinds. Their convictions have been stayed. Don't go into whirlwinds. Don't derail now.
Okay.
Don't get into this trap. We are talking of two different things. What has been said today is the most unfortunate thing. And unfortunately, your party is in government. The person who has made this statement is a union minister. I am not trying to divert. Anyway, keep shouting. That's all you can do.
And your
Please
chief
keep
minister
shouting.
goes
That's
and
all
meets
you
a
can do.
terrorist in the jail, and you
Yes, you shout. Come on.
And now today you're talking about democracy, holding it up. It is our party. It is our party who has done it.
Commit contempt.
We are standing by the commitment to the law.
Why don't you commit contempt? Please keep on shouting. Please keep on shouting. Kindly commit contempt.
The
Of course
courts-
you can shout that this is right.
The courts intervene. I'm taking a break. The big story, Mohandas Pai. Mohandas Pai, I'm coming to you on the big story. On the other side, the big story tonight is A. Raja's explosive charge. 1 minute. A. Raja's explosive charge. The text of that interview is on the screen right now. Now, remember this. I just want to say this before we go back to talk about A. Raja's point. He's made this point. Should he have been allowed to make all these points before the Joint Parliamentary Committee, before the JPC? Why was he not allowed to make those points? As far as the whole issue of insulting the courts is concerned, the courts come in when the government fails in its duty. The government fails in its duty during 2G. The government fails during its duty during the coal block allocation. The government fails in its duty on the black money case. And then if the court intervenes, then to call the courts an unelected and unaccountable body, which is virtually a burden on this country. I think the exact words that he was using there, you know, where he said the unelected, unaccountable body that is a major challenge to Indian democracy. What is Salman Khurshid saying? I'm back on the other side with a big story of A. Raja's explosive interview to Times Now. Coming back.